I saw a lot of correct answers for number 1. Anyone want to walk me through how to do it? Franco, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing I did...
We're listening and not talking over each other.
So,
Franco got this one, but if you want to do another one, you cancel.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
so the way I did it was I subtracted by on both sides. And then you get ax equals c minus by. And then I just divided by a on both sides. And then I get x equals c minus by divided by b.
That is the correct answer.
Come.
X equals c divided by a minus by.
You got the,
I just kind of did that.
Oh,
Flipped it.
switched it.
Yeah. So like this.
Or you're talking about on the opposite side.
No, I did the steps in a different way.
Meaning
how x equals c divided by a minus by.
Tell me your steps.
So I divided by a on both sides. And then I subtracted by from both sides.
So if we were dividing by a, this would cancel. We have x. You would need to do this separately. You couldn't divide everything by a at the same time. But then cy over a equals c over a. And then what would you do from here?
Minus by divided by a on both
Yeah,
sides.
you would just move this entire side, or this entire piece. It just is more now. But when you do that, because these both have the same denominator, you can combine them into one. So we have c over a minus by over a, which becomes the same thing. So you would still get the same thing, but different way. Did we have other questions on 1? Or did you try any others on this page and want to see or go over those?
Did we try the other ones?
I didn't say to, but if you tried them.
I was a little confused with number 3, but I guess I figured it out. I don't know.
Walk me through what we did.
So I multiplied b on both sides, and then I got b times d equals m over d.
In this case, guys, listen. This would just be m. But then you're still trying to get b by itself.
So then you divide by b,
Divide b.
and b equals m over d.
Any others on this page we wanted to see or go over? Remind me, not right now, or we're going to come back to, not because it's going to be similar to questions on your quiz/test, but it'll be similar to questions you may see on the Khan Academy that's due on Friday, and that will help you. But on the review, what questions did we have? Want to go over? Not sure how to start? We did it and want to check the answer? Anything like that? If you need another copy of the review, they're in the teal crate in the Unit 1 folder towards the end. Precious. This one's the review. That one was practice. 4. We'll start there, and as you have other questions, you can let me know. Okay, so we are going to start with 4, then we'll go back to 2, and then do any others. If you have two fractions that are equal to one another, what is our first step? Cross multiply. There we go. So we're multiplying this to this and this to this. You found it? Good. Where was it?
Office. Someone else had it.
You're fine. You're fine. Because this is negative, we're not going to put the negative with both numbers. Pick one of them, put the negative with it. Doesn't need to go with both. So if I do negative 9 and times n plus 4, set that equal to 12 times n plus 6. I have cross multiplied, not multiplying across, and not multiplying with the same numerator and denominator. And then distribute to negative 9n minus 36. Be careful with your signs. Equals 12n plus 72. And then you can move your n's to one side and your constants to the other. So let's say I want to move 9n over to make all my n's positive, and move 72 over. So we have negative 108 and 21n. And divide. And what do we get when we divide? It's going to be some decimal or fraction.
Negative 36 over
7. That is the fraction. What's the decimal?
Negative 5.142857.143.
And I think it repeats. Sometimes you will get decimals or fractions. I will say you might get that at least once on the quiz. You might not. I don't remember. But if you're getting that for everything, something might be wrong.
Did you just carry the 108 up there instead?
Yes.
And did you
Yes.
move over the 9?
Mm-hmm. So I added 9 here, subtracted 72 here. These both canceled. So on this side we have the negative 108, and on this side we have 21. Okay. Other questions on that one before we continue? We're going to go back and do 2. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this just because you may like one way better than the other. One, if we're trying to get p by itself, we could get rid of 57. So this would give us a negative, not negative, positive 90. This negative p, there's really a 1 right there. So I would need to divide both sides by negative 1. So that p becomes negative 90. But if I wanted to avoid dividing by a negative, I could do it like this instead. This is like an extra step. You have to do an extra step in this way, but it still works the same way. Instead of starting this way, I'm going to move p to the other side. At first, that's not going to seem like it helps at all. But my end goal is still to get p by itself, so now I can move 147 back. This would give me negative 90, and I didn't have to divide to get that negative. So you would get the same thing either way, it's just how you would rather solve it. That's just 6. Okay. Questions on 2 or 4? 6, you're going to distribute twice. Remember, again, there's like a -1. You don't see the 1, but that's what you're distributing. I'm going to go ahead and combine these like terms, but if you want to wait until you combine everything else, you can do that. So this would be -m minus 2 plus 2 minus 4m. Combine your like terms on this side. Should be on. Remember, when you're combining like terms, it's whatever it says, not the opposite. So -m minus 4m and -2 plus 2 would cancel, become 0. If you wanted to, you could put plus 0, or you could leave it just like this. You still need to get your variables on the same side, but you have a choice. You can move 3m over by subtracting, or 5m over by adding. It does not matter. So let's say I move 5m over. On this side, there is nothing left, so I'm going to put 0. And then solve for m. This would be a solution, even though the solution is not really a number. This is the review we were doing last class, or I gave you last class. So don't be confused. If you get 0, that is an answer, that is a solution. Don't put no solution, because that's something else. So
How we did the negative when going over to so for the number on the side, where it has your negative there, do we do that?
mm-hmm. Great. Other questions in that first section or the bottom section? We feel confident that we could do all of these. I see some yeses. Any of those you're not sure where to start? 10. 12. We'll start with those two. If you have any others, we'll come back. So for 10, we're trying to get x by itself. We can get rid of y by subtracting it to the other side. This is kind of like on the quick check when we multiplied both sides by v and whatever that was, 3. Here we're going to multiply both sides by x. But when I do that on this side, I'm going to put this in parentheses because I don't want to actually multiply it to them individually, because then I have 2 x's and then I got to worry about separating them. So these x's cancel. I have x and then in parentheses z minus y and m. But I'm still trying to get x by itself, and it's not right now. X is multiplying to these parentheses. So I could undo this by dividing what was in the parentheses. This would cancel. And you have x equals m over z minus 1. This is similar to what I was going to show you for how your Khan Academy is set up for the one that's due this week. Where you have to have something outside of parentheses or divide by something inside parentheses, something like that. Questions on 10 before we do 12? For 12, you're trying to solve for x. I'm going to rewrite this because I'm writing this everywhere. We got to get rid of c. So we could add this to the other side. And then if you wanted to put this in alphabetic order, you could do that as well. So either or. But that's it. Make sure you are boxing in your answer at the end so I know that that's it. You're done. Yes. Any other questions we want to go over or have questions about? So 2 hands. Anita? 11. Sloan? 11. Okay, for this one, if we're trying to get x by itself, all of these things are being multiplied, so we can undo this by dividing them at the same time. So the y and the c would cancel, just leaving x on that side. So g over yc would be your final answer. There are questions. Okay. At what part did you get confused, Precious?
So then when you bring in the y, why do you take the 2 y and c must be there? Or
Why did I take them both at the same time?
yeah.
I could have separated it, but it would have caused a lot more steps. Here, you'd have a fraction within a fraction. In math, we don't like that. So you would have to multiply by the reciprocal of this. So you'd end up with cy, yc does not matter. So you get the same thing, but there's more steps if you do them individually.
Is it like that every time though?
Yeah, because it was already over here, and I'm dividing it by yc, not the other way around.
Oh, okay, because we're trying to get x.
Right.
Okay.
Angela, did that help your confusion? Yes. Any other questions?
Can we do 5? I'm kind of confused because there's supposed to be a 1 right in front of the
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then.
You said that makes more sense. Okay. Do you still need me to do it? Or are you good? Okay.
So with it, when we distribute it, will we still keep it in parentheses because we still have the 1 half?
Nope, so you're taking -1, multiplying it to the n, and then multiplying it to the 5. So this would become -1n or -n, however you want to write that, and then -5. And then you go from there.
I understand.
Any other questions? I just want to make sure all of your questions are answered before we start this. Okay, so I'm going to give you your quiz. You're going to have 2 chances to turn this in. The first time, you're going to take it like normal, no notes, no nothing, out. Then you're going to turn it in. As you turn it in, I'm going to look over it. I'm going to highlight anything I see incorrect, you're missing something, whatever. And then if I see that, I'm going to call you back up. You're going to grab it, and then you're going to go back to your seat and fix it. If I call you back up and you fix it, you can look at your notes the second time, not the first. If you need a refresher, okay, how do I do this? What am I missing? What's wrong here? If you're not sure why something is highlighted or whatever, you can come ask me about it. And then after you fix it, after I've highlighted it, you can turn it back in, and that will be graded as is. Right? So make sure you try the entire quiz the first time, because if you turn it in without it not being fully done, and I go through and I highlight, you've lost one chance at what I could have looked at. Do you have any questions on the quiz process? In between